There's a kind of image I can't stop thinking about that might look normal enough at first until you take a closer look. Birthdays, animals, food, babies, elderly, sculptures, drawings, homes, kitchens, the military, poverty, and lots of Jesus Christ. Images like these, made with AI text-to-image generation tools, have flooded social media, especially Facebook, where they can get hundreds, thousands, sometimes millions of reactions. Some critics say it's ruining the internet. It's being called
AI slop.
AI slop.
AI slop.
AI-generated slop.
AI-generated photos on Facebook.
AI
Slop.
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 It's just slop.
AI slop. Content designed to elicit fascination, nostalgia, patriotism, envy, disgust, desire, pity, or empathy, specifically to farm engagement on social media. I want to understand, why is this happening? Who's making this stuff? And what does the flood of AI slop mean for the internet? If I was going to understand how AI slop worked, I wanted to see if I could make it myself. Making a picture like this is not especially complicated. There are a handful of text-to-image generation services out there. If we take an example like this of AI slop that's gotten a whole bunch of likes and we try to reverse engineer it on DALL-E, 2 veterans sitting Times Square, please, like the other both has a celebrating birthday. I think that's pretty good. Let's see what it does. We can get something pretty similar. Now that I'd made some of these images on my own, I wanted to see if I could get anyone to actually look at them. So I made a new Facebook page called Grateful Moments, and I decided to focus on home interiors. I wrote prompts to generate dozens of pictures and started to upload them every day. If making the images wasn't complicated, understanding why they looked the way they did was. Older women showing off knit sweaters, distressed people asking for likes on their birthday, artists standing next to impossible sculptures that they'd made. It's hard to overstate how bizarre these can get. It's obviously easy to look at all of this stuff and just laugh. A lot of these pictures are very funny, but I wanted to talk to someone who actually knew what was going on. On Facebook, there were more accounts producing this kind of stuff than I could count. I messaged tons of them to see if they would talk. But on X, there was one account that caught my eye.
I share examples of posts, mostly on Facebook, using AI that are designed to trick old and mostly gullible people into liking.
That's Théodore Cazals, the human behind insane Facebook AI slop. Théodore explained that this phenomenon wasn't entirely new.
It used to be that all people will like some sort of feel-good stories that are just wall of text, and it's like, good morning, share this if you love Jesus. I mean, now it's been sort of replaced by this obvious AI.
Even before text-to-image models, there was already a template for the kind of content that goes viral on social media. AI image generation just made cheap imitations of those types of content possible, and it became the fastest and cheapest way to make content designed to get as much engagement as possible. Sometimes those imitations are so specific that they amount to stealing another creator's work. Jason Kebler at 404 Media tracked down this real artist, Michael Jones, who makes these carved wooden sculptures that have been endlessly imitated as an entire genre of AI slop, turning one viral photo from one account into endless viral photos on endless accounts. Okay, really quick. Making videos for this channel, I'm constantly trying to track people down to see if they will talk to me for an interview. A lot of times when I'm searching for people on the web, I'll come across sites like these where you can literally buy access to someone's phone number and email. I never do that when I'm reporting, but in theory, anyone, their landlord, their employer, any stranger could buy that information. You can ask those data brokers to delete your information, but you would have to do it for every single people search site, and you would have to do it over and over again every time your information reappears on those sites. But the sponsor of this video can do all of that work for you. Incogni is a service that reaches out to data brokers on your behalf and requests to remove your personal data. They have a special 60% off deal at incogni.com/tunnelvision. Since I started using it, I noticed that when I Google myself, a lot less of my information appears on a lot fewer sites. And it's an automated process that handles the whole back and forth with these brokers, so I literally do not have to do a thing. You can try it out risk-free for 30 days, so if you feel like you don't need it, it's no biggie. If you use the code TUNNELVISION at this link, incogni.com/tunnelvision, you can get a 60% off deal on a year-long Incogni plan. Okay, with that, let's get back to Théodore and the world of insane Facebook AI slop.
Whoever is running those accounts are like tuning into whatever they seem works, but it changes over time.
Other times it's hard to say where the inspiration for a certain kind of AI slop came from. There are real images of African children making their own toys out of scrap metal, and that could have served as the inspiration for writing a certain prompt. But by creating prompts imitating viral content, copying and pasting those prompts with slight changes based on what performs, and repeating that process again and again, the results drift into increasingly bizarre territory.
AI can already do like much more realistic stuff, but most of these accounts mass produce this stuff. So it's much cheaper and much faster to use the lowest settings possible, which make for less realistic, more inconsistent images. But for now, they don't particularly mind because it gets them enough engagement.
You can see evidence of that mass production when you look at the full photo grid on some of these slop accounts. Like here, you can see distinct blocks where the creator uploaded different versions of the same or similar prompts. A phase of kids building cars, then kids building trains, then kids building helicopters, then grandmas making sweaters, then back to kids making trains, then kids with pets, then just pets, then finally veterans in Times Square on their birthday. When I asked Théodore to explain how big he thinks this problem is, he couldn't really tell me.
I don't personally use Facebook, so all I get is from submissions in DMs. And I don't know how prevalent it is on an average person's timeline. I'm 19, so I'm not the target audience anymore.
And that made me want to figure out how prevalent AI slop actually is on the average person's Facebook feed. Most major social media companies have a transparency center where they share findings about their platforms. So I went to Meta's transparency center and I found the widely viewed content report, which, like the name implies, breaks down stats about the content on Facebook that's been most widely viewed in the last quarter. In the most recent report, this was the fourth most viewed piece of content on Facebook, viewed over 38 million times. You can tell it's AI generated if you look at these puzzle pieces, which don't totally make sense. But it's still obviously a cartoon. No one's believing this is a photograph. But others aren't as clear. In that same report, the fifth most viewed piece of content was this AI-generated image, viewed almost 36 million times. In another report, this AI-generated fake movie poster was viewed almost 34 million times. And in another, this AI-generated image of a kitchen was viewed 40 million times. Why were so many people seeing these photos instead of those from their friends or accounts that they'd actually followed? Well, in another part of the widely viewed content reports, there was an answer. At the beginning of 2021, only 8% of content on Facebook feeds were what they call unconnected posts. Basically, posts from accounts that you don't follow. At that point, you were more likely to see posts from groups you joined, pages you followed, or from your friends and people that you chose to follow. That was the biggest category. But year after year, that started to change. The Facebook feed algorithm started to show users more content from accounts that they didn't follow in an attempt to mimic the wild success of TikTok's For You page. Now, unconnected content makes up almost a third of what people see on their feeds. It's the biggest category of all. So AI slop can reach tens of millions of people on Facebook because Facebook is actively promoting unconnected content that it expects will get a lot of engagement, and AI slop is unconnected content that is designed to get a lot of engagement. Despite that, my AI slop was disappointingly not getting a lot of engagement. I don't really know what I'm doing, and I don't understand how anyone is running these pages and making money off of them. So I went looking for someone who did understand, and I found Jiaru Tang. She's a researcher who studies AI-generated content in the creator economy. Her work mostly focuses on Chinese creators making short-form videos like this, which is, I think, its own kind of slop. Because AI slop isn't just an issue with images on Facebook, but also with video on TikTok.
Besides Chinese creators, I know that creators from Vietnam and Indian and other South Asian countries as they described to me, this is like a quick buck. If you can earn some money from this account, that's enough.
So how do they make a quick buck? Well, it depends on the platform. On Facebook, accounts will often post links to content farms. These are websites loaded with ads that they can make money on via ad revenue. On Facebook, you can also see pages that switch from publishing AI slop to something else, which could be evidence that the page's owner used AI slop to grow an audience and then sold it on a site like this, where owners can auction off social media accounts. I contacted one seller who quoted me $2,000 for a bundle of Jesus niche Facebook pages that they'd grown with a combination of Christian memes and AI slop. But Jiaru told me about another way that these creators make money.
Many creators told me that actually selling the tutorial to others is kind of a major income source for them.
Tutorials and templates are why you might see extremely similar images, videos, and captions across different accounts. And for the Chinese creators that Jiaru studies, those templates can even enable them to expand their operation.
This actually allows this kind of small company or small agency to outsource the video creation to a lot of people that may not identify themselves as creators. They can be Uber driver or gig worker. Many people that create this kind of video are housewives. They have a lot of time at home and they want to make some side income.
But the main way AI Slop makes money is through creator monetization programs. These programs pay creator accounts based on likes, comments, and views. A 404 Media investigation found that many AI Slop accounts on Facebook are run by people in South and Southeast Asia, where the money they can make on viral images can be higher than average local incomes. If you search YouTube for terms like Facebook AI images make money in different languages, you can find endless videos about how to get started doing this.
This one right here, this could do well.
Facebook पर फोटो डालकर पैसे
फोटोज को अपलोड करके कमाया जा रहा है।
La creación de estas publicaciones
You can
dentro de
actually get
Facebook.
paid lots of money just for posting these on Facebook.
I don't want to demonize anybody for trying to make money on the internet however they can, but it's hard to look at this stuff and not feel like it is polluting or at least diluting social media and the internet as a whole. So I asked Jiaru what she thought.
That's true, but actually from the creator side, they just think this is a new way for them to make side income. It's just a way for them to make money. They don't think too much about whether it's harmful to the internet. They don't have this sense, and it's just a way for them to make money.
All of that makes sense. These are just people looking for a way to make some money on the internet. But talking to Jiaru did make me wonder if this stuff was at some point harmful to the internet. AI slop grandmas and AI slop kitchens with AI slop cakes, it might seem harmless, but in the absence of any disclosure from these creators or any kind of consistent labeling on platforms, the people who wind up seeing this stuff don't always know that what they're looking at isn't real. In a 2024 report on AI Slop, researchers Renee DeResta and Josh A. Goldstein found commenters posting infographics like these in attempts to warn people not to be fooled. Some of these commenters themselves could be automated spam to boost engagement. But time and time again, I would check out their profiles, and they were real people. I couldn't see how you could possibly fall for this stuff until it happened to me. When I was browsing Théodore's X account, I saw this image of a beef sandwich with marshmallows and barbecue sauce, and I stopped. It was ridiculous, but was it AI slop? I couldn't tell anymore. And when I dug into the research on this, it showed I'm not alone. People say that they can distinguish AI-generated images from real ones, but aren't actually very good at doing it, and it's especially difficult for older adults. I started to wonder, as image generators continued to get more and more realistic, when does something stop being AI slop and start being something else? I went looking for people who had written about the problems with an internet increasingly full of low-quality AI content.
As these tools get better, it's going to be harder to spot the really obvious slop, the really obvious kind of lazy, low-effort, just kind of automated systems that are pumping this stuff out.
That's Terence Broad. He's a creative computing researcher and an artist who works with generative AI tools.
The incentives to make money, is there for some unscrupulous people. They don't really care whether they're making fake news or not. It's kind of just a means to an end.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, the deadly storm that struck the southeastern United States in September 2024, social media platforms were flooded with all kinds of AI slop. There were more obviously low-quality ones, but there were also images like this one, which spread widely, was even shared by some major US political figures. One political activist was called out for sharing this, but she doubled down, saying that it was emblematic of something that was real. And then there were images like these, from a page that makes AI slop specific to the North Carolina coast, that were even harder to tell weren't real. All of these are trying to cash in on disaster by farming engagement, but some are blurring the lines between slop and actual misinformation.
Where you draw the line between really dangerous, deliberate misinformation, or where people are kind of just looking at trends and sort of using these tools to make content that they think is going to get engagement, it's hard to say, and I think it's going to be becoming increasingly difficult to delineate that boundary.
Low-quality AI content is everywhere now. And on Facebook, there might soon be even more of it. Meta's policy states that it won't monetize content that its fact-checkers identify as false. But the company also announced that it plans to stop working with fact-checkers in the US in 2025.
So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms.
At the same time, Meta is changing the Facebook content monetization program, which is how all of these slop accounts make money, from invite only to being widely available this year, which could accelerate the platform's AI slop problem even more. So, what do we do? Well, I went looking for tools for detecting whether or not an image was generated with AI. Was it AI tells you if something was likely created by AI, and Site Engine does a similar thing and guesses what AI tool was used to make the image, but the reliability of these tools is all over the place. And even as they improve, so will the quality of the images that they're trying to detect. It'll be a constant game of cat and mouse. So this kind of stuff probably won't be going away anytime soon. The majority of AI slop is still kind of strange and funny for now, but I worry about how much time we'll all keep spending staring into screens, reacting to events, craving lifestyles, and relating to people that never actually existed.